Hace hazar, mase llanas.
Far Cry Primal is a bold attempt to reinvigorate a franchise that many felt the last outing lacked originality. Far Cry Primal still feels like a Far Cry game, but the new era and world absolutely bring freshness to the series. The new taming aspect is a brilliant addition, but the lack of a strong narrative, which ironically I wish they had retained from the previous games, makes Far Cry Primal feel like a worthy sequel but keeps it just shy of greatness. Far Cry Primal takes place 12,000 years back in time to the dawn of mankind. Playing as Taka, you hunt a mammoth having travelled days without food. The pursuit is a success, but victory quickly becomes tragedy as an imposing saber-toothed tiger makes quick work of your brethren, leaving you stranded and in desperate need. Far Cry 3 and 4 introduced us to the psychotic Vaas and the egotistical pagan Min. Far Cry Primal however suffers by having no definitive antagonist. The narrative revolves around establishing a village and warring with two rival factions as the core journey, but these stories lack standout moments. Disappointingly, the respective leaders of these groups are as charismatic as the aforementioned saber-toothed tiger. If you have played a Far Cry game before, you will immediately feel reacquainted with the mechanics. You'll be liberating outposts, and how you eliminate the enemy threats within the vicinity is your prerogative. The same enemy types return, but this time around they are equipped with a barrage of spears and rocks. I adore playing covertly in games, and having my trusty sniper rifle removed from my arsenal highlighted my reliance on the weapon. Stealth is still very prominent within Far Cry Primal, and the first weapon you craft is the bow. Firing a headshot from 50 feet away is far more satisfying than shooting a gun. In fact, all of the weapons within Far Cry Primal feel more powerful and deadly than the firearms seen in most games. Throwing a spear directly into a man's torso and watching him crumple to the floor feels wonderfully primitive. Ranged combat is a delight, whereas melee combat is not. When enemies rush you, you need to resort to a more hands-on approach and it feels chaotic and cumbersome. You are not given a block ability, which is a massive oversight in my opinion, and you will find yourself aimlessly swinging your club until it connects with anything in the immediate radius. The inconsistency of the close quarters combat is infuriating as enemies can take multiple hits. The heavy enemies will take in excess of 20 strikes, which quickly becomes dull. If you can keep your distance, that is the best choice. Far Cry Primal takes place in the fictional world of Oros. Venture north and you will encounter snowy mountains, whereas in the south expect to see a drier, sun-soaked landscape. The graphics within Far Cry Primal are a mixed bag. At times, when the moon shines through the trees illuminating the glint of a wolf's eye, the game looks great. Effects such as water and fire can look dated. With a lack of civilization, the animals rule the world and a circle of life is ever present. You feel vulnerable knowing you are not yet at the top of the food chain, and hearing the roar of a distant cave lion had me running for cover. There is a sense of tranquil with the lack of modern day noises, and instead you will be blessed with the sounds of grazing goats or two leopards fighting each other for dominance. In Far Cry Primal, the abilities screen has been segregated into more sections than ever. Sadly, there is only a handful of new skills. The only new perks affect the development of your owl, who can fly above the field and scout nearby enemies and outposts. With upgrades, your flying friend can tag enemies, drop bombs, and even swoop down and immediately kill an unsuspecting opponent. Ubisoft have tried something new with Far Cry Primal by including animal companions, and it is the best addition. Taming the beast is too simple, as you throw a piece of bait and simply hold a button, but once the animal joins you it becomes more complex. Each beast has their own unique ability, and I would frequently alternate between them. Having a cave lion by my side would tag enemies within close proximity, and then I would utilise my jaguar to eliminate stray enemies without alarming anyone. There is a lack of animals to choose from though. Being able to tame water creatures or weaker animals with unique qualities would have been more captivating. A leveling system could have been interesting too, but maybe in the future. Taming animals can feel effortless, but the extreme hunts are not. These pursuits are drawn out affairs, and by using your hunter vision, you track these dangerous animals through their warpaths. When you finally catch the culprits, you can construct traps to ensnare the creature. Once all preparations are complete, the concluding fight is testing and satisfying. These beasts look awesome with deformed scars and spears emitting from their bodies, but sadly they have similar abilities to companions you would already have acquired. I cannot help but feel Far Cry Primal has still played it too safe. They took an ambitious leap by delving into the past, but yet did not fully commit. I wish they had embraced the wondrous and included dinosaurs, inventive weapons and new abilities. I still thoroughly enjoyed what they've put together here, but I cannot help but feel I've played the same game for the past few years. The fundamental gameplay is just as fun as it always has been, but without more innovation in the future, we could see the series stagnating, not unlike another of Ubisoft's properties. I give Far Cry Primal 4 stars out of 5. Check out the full written review at thenerdstash.com.